Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? It is currently 4:59 p.m. on this chilly Saturday. What is on my shoulder? Oh, a little bit of fuzz. On this chilly Saturday afternoon. Wearing this sweatshirt for the very first time that I bought like a year ago, and maybe 2 years ago, and it actually finally fits. Which I'm going to talk about my clothes in just a second because I had a little bit of a meltdown earlier. We just walked in the door about 10 minutes ago, and Alex just fed Boo Radley, and then he is laying down for a little bit. He's going to take a shower, and then he is going to heat up some pizza rolls because he is going to hear a friend of his band tonight. And then I think, depending on when he gets done with that, we're going to head up to my brother-in-law Carlos and my sister-in-law Liliana's house, depending on what time it is. And they're going to do like cake and stuff like that because it's Carlos's birthday. We actually went to Carlitos's baseball game today, their son's baseball game, and we sat with Liliana and Sebastian, my other nephew, and watched the baseball game. And it was crazy. There was like 10 baseball games going on at the same time. I think, like, I was telling Alex this, like, I have to just say, like, I have a lot of respect for parents that do this. Like, my brother and sister-in-law, like, I mean, they are, like, the kids are involved in football, baseball, and soccer. And they, like, I mean, Carlitos is, like, on traveling teams. And first of all, the expense alone, I can't even imagine. Because we walked in and it was like $15 for a day pass and like $30 or $25 or $30 for like a weekend pass to like even go into like where you have to like watch the games, you know? And parents all have to pay that as well. And then like all the concession stands, which Liliana was like, the kids always want ice cream, they always want this, you know, whatever. But I was saying to Alex, I said, you know, like this is one of the reasons why, like when people are always like, oh, you'd make such great parents and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. Like this is one of like the reasons why I never wanted to like be a parent, was because I knew, like when I was thinking about it back in the day, that if I were to be a parent, you know, it would be really important for me to live in like a neighborhood where the kids had a lot of other friends that they could, you know, hang out with and play with and stuff like that. And then I would want to be very involved in like the school and, you know, PTA and things like that, as well as having my kids involved in a lot of like sports and arts activities as well, you know? And like Liliana and Carlos, like their entire weekend, like from Friday through Sunday, is dedicated to these kids' sports, as I think are many of these parents, because it's just like all these parents that were there, you know, were like hauling in like chairs and, you know, coolers and all these kinds of things. And I'm sure that like they enjoy it. Like Carlos and Liliana love it, right? Like Carlitos had 2 games today. He had one at 2 and then he has another one at 6 or 6:30. And Liliana was saying, depending on like the tournament, sometimes they have like 3 of them, and tomorrow they have another one that's like in another city that they have to travel to, and then he has another one in a different place. So they have like 2 places that they have to travel to tomorrow for like this travel team. And then Sebastian also, he has like soccer or something like that tomorrow morning. So it's like their whole weekend is all like dedicated to this. And like I really respect like the parents that do that, because I just have to tell you, like, I do not have that in me. If I were to be a parent, that would be the kind of parent that I would want to be. Like my whole life would be dedicated to being a parent. Like I think that's important. But I just don't think that I have it in me to be, you know, that kind of person. And in all honesty, I'm very selfish with my time, and that's one of the reasons why, like, Alex and I have both chosen to not have kids, you know, because I think, to really, I don't know, to do all that stuff. And I was, like, asking Liliana, I was like, what happens to, like, parents that can't afford it? And she's like, well, sometimes they have, like, fundraising and things like that. And she was like, but if they can't afford it, they just don't participate, you know, like they can't do these things. And I think that's kind of sad. for a lot of these things, because I know a lot of these leagues are like really, really expensive and stuff like that, and then everything on top of it, and then spending your whole weekend doing this for parents that have to work and whatever, you know, making sure that your kids can get there. And then like the kids are out of school like next week. I was asking Carlitos, and he says he in school next week. He's going to be going into 5th grade, and Sebastian's going to be going into 2nd grade, which is like crazy to me, you know. And but like all the camps and all the things that they do over the summer, you know, Liliana works for a school, so she's out the whole summer, so she gets to, you know, take them, and she like really involves them in doing a lot of things. Like she has a lot of activities planned for them throughout the summer. But like I have so many friends of mine that they like work during the summer, and so like they have their kids involved in all these, you know, camps and programs and things. They have to, you know, because if not, like their kids just, you know, sit at home and are playing video games 24 hours a day. And so I don't know, it's always interesting to me. And it was also funny because I ran into a couple people that I knew. Like I ran into this one guy that I know, and like his son, I know his son who's like 30, and then he got remarried, and he has like 3 sons that are like 5, 10, and 12, and they were like all playing there that day, and we were talking, and I was like, oh, like and he was like, oh, this is my youngest son, and he's playing, and then like another one's playing and whatever. And I thought, you've been doing this for like 25 years. Like how do you possibly do that? So for you parents out there that are like that involved, like hey, listen, I have mad respect for you. I really do. I mean, it was fun. Like it was really fun being out there and watching the game. And like Alex, it was kind of funny because so I grew up like we played baseball on our cul-de-sac, like serious baseball, like on our cul-de-sac, like literally like every day in the summer and like all this kind of stuff. And so like I know, you know, like I used to watch baseball and I know a lot about baseball, and Alex is like how do you know about it? Like, do you know what's going on? And I'm like, yeah. And so because I was like you know, whatever, it was like really fun to kind of like watch the game and just for the game. But like I can't imagine doing that 3 times a day. You know, because Liliana was like, it's closer they get to the summer that it's sometimes like on Friday evenings too. I can't imagine doing that 2 to 3 times a day, 3 days on the weekend. Like when you just worked a full week. Like I just, hey, like I said, I have mad respect for the parents that do that. But I think it's a lot, you know. And but I think it's also like a fantastic way, and this is why if I were a parent, I would want to do those things. I think it's, you know, I always said, like, if I was going to be a parent, like, I would have my kids involved equally. Like, I would have them pick, like, a musical instrument to play, an art, to, like, some artistic endeavor to get involved in, whether that was photography or painting or whatever. They could switch it throughout the years, or, you know, theater or whatever. And then also get them involved in some kind of activity like sports, you know, to be active. I think it's important for kids to do that. And I also know, you know, from working back in the day in treatment that, like, statistically, kids that are more involved are less likely to get in trouble the older that they get and things, which I think is one of the reasons why, like, when I stopped playing tennis in high school and I stopped participating in a lot of activities is why, like, I kind of fell into getting into trouble a lot, because I wasn't as involved in things as I was, like, when I was growing up. When I was playing tennis 5 days a week when I was growing up, I didn't really have the time to get involved in a lot of trouble. You know, when I came home and I had, you know, from the time that I got off school until whenever, I think, especially when my mom was working until 10 o'clock at night, which she couldn't help because she had to, you know, I think it made it a lot easier for me to kind of like get into trouble and whatever. And so, you know, like when I did back in the day think about like being a parent, I thought, okay, so these are the things that are important. If I'm going to do it, and this was like when I was with my ex, and I was like really thinking about like, do I want to do this? Do I want to? Because at that point I was kind of like, you know, that was when I was in my mid 30s, and I was thinking, if I'm going to do it, like this is the time to do it, like to adopt or have a surrogate. And I never felt super strongly about it. I always said that if my partner wanted to do it, that then I would do it. But if my partner didn't want to, and then by the time I got with Alex, I felt pretty strongly that I didn't want to, and that was kind of a deal breaker for Alex. Like, Alex was like, no, I don't want to have kids. And so I was completely fine with that. I was like, I don't really either. Like, I was going to do it for, you know, whoever. But my ex and I, we did actually talk about, you know, having kids and adopting or having a surrogate or whatever. And, you know, I always would say to people, like, I had really thought it through, and like if I was going to do it, like I wanted to live in a neighborhood that was like heavily populated with families, so that my kids would have, you know, I grew up having, you know, every house on the street had kids and neighbors that we went over to their house for dinner and stuff. And like, that was really important to me as far as growing up. Like, I felt like I grew up in a community, a neighborhood that I felt safe in. And I would want my kids to have the same thing. And I also said, you know, that I would be very involved with their school and I would be in their teachers, because I think that's important as well. And then I would be very, you know, have them involved in like one like athletic activity, one artistic, you know, endeavor, and one musical instrument, because I think that those things kind of like, you know, develop different aspects of what they're interested in, you know. And if my kid got old enough and was like, well, I want to play all these sports and I don't want to do arts and musical instruments, and that would be their choice and whatever, you know. Or if they wanted to do all art situations and like theater and photography and didn't want to do any, you know, whatever. But I do think it's important to have kids be in something athletic, just because I think that it helps, you know, as they, especially like with Carlitos and Sebastian's age, because I think like to get that energy out and whatever. But you know, I was like watching those parents, a lot of those parents today that are around there, and like, and we knew some of the parents that Liliana was like sitting with, because we had seen them at birthday parties and stuff like that. And like, they're just like, their entire lives are dedicated to being parents. And like I said, like, I really, really respect that. Especially because in my life, I have like come across a lot of parents that I don't feel like really think those things out, or don't have the ability to, because they have to work 3 jobs to put food on the table, and that's the best that they can do. And so they can't participate that way, right? And so like, I really respect the parents that do that and sit there for the duration. I mean, 6 to 8 hours on a Saturday for baseball games and stuff like that, that's a lot, you know. And I don't know, but it was fun. We had a good time, and we were out there for a couple hours, and then we just hung out. So they were going to stay there in between the games, and so they went over to a different area. I mean, this park that they play at is like huge, and Carlos, like some of his friends came out, and he was like in a batting cage, and he was, because Carlos, my brother-in-law, he's also like on a traveling, he's like on a national traveling team, and he's also on like a local traveling baseball team, because he played baseball in Venezuela. He played like on a farm team. He's really good. And Alex played tennis growing up, and Carlos played baseball. And so he was like in a batting cage, and he was like hitting, you know, we were talking about Fufu and Jesse's wedding, because Alex was texting them, and we were talking to the kids about that. And Liliana and I were kind of like figuring out like what we're going to wear, because Alex is officiating the wedding. Carlos is one of the groomsmen. So they both have certain things they have to wear. The boys are ring bearers in the wedding, so they both have things that they have to wear. Alex's mother is the mother of the groom, so she and her mother will be escorted, and so it's like Liliana and I, well, his aunt and uncle will be out there and stuff, but it's going to be like Liliana and I, like sitting, you know, like the second row or whatever, and I was like, we should dress together. And somebody, it was funny, because I said I was going to wear a black suit, and somebody said, oh, you should wear a navy blue suit, that would look so nice. And the more I thought about it, I was like, oh, I think I'm going to wear a navy blue suit with a navy blue tie. And so I was telling Liliana that, and I said, maybe we could do like, and I could wear like a light blue, like a powder blue shirt underneath it, button down. And then you could wear like a navy blue or a light blue like dress, and we could like kind of be matchy-matchy. And she's like, oh, I really like that. They're doing kind of like garden chic party. So, and the colors are kind of like beige and like off-white. And I mean, it's like a fall wedding, so. But anyway, so we're really excited about that. We were all talking about it, and we were looking at the house that they like rented, the Airbnb, which is like really nice. It's really cool. So I'm excited about that. And we were talking about the different things we're going to do while we're out there, because we're going to probably go out there like the same time that Carlos and Liliana and the kids go out there, and Alex's mom is going to already probably be out there. And so we're going to do a bunch of family stuff, and go around to the beach and all kinds of stuff. So it'll be fun. I'm really excited about that. And I have to tell you, I did not dress appropriately for today. It was colder today. It like dropped like 10 degrees from yesterday to today. But when Alex was getting ready, he had on like jean shorts and like a tank top and a hoodie. And I was like, it's kind of cold outside to wear shorts. And he was like, is it? And so like, I had put on jeans, which I'm going to tell you guys about my meltdown in just a second. Not really a meltdown, but a realization, so to speak. But so I had jeans on, and then I came outside, and I was like, it is kind of warm. And so I ended up putting on these. I had these like khaki shorts on. And then I had purchased these Birkenstock sandals before we went to Miami. I think they're really cute. They have like these big buckles on them, and I don't know if you can see, but they have like these like holes all over them. They are so uncomfortable, you guys. I don't know if I have to like break them in or whatever. I haven't had a pair of Birkenstocks that have like a back strap to them in quite some time, so I wanted to get one. But it's not the back strap that's uncomfortable. It's actually on my front, my toes, and I've like adjusted them and everything like that. And they're really, really uncomfortable. So, but I knew I wanted to wear a hoodie, and so you guys probably know I have this like Ralph Lauren hoodie. I have it in like a beige color. That's like 2XL. And then I have it in, what's the other color that I have it in? Oh, like a bright blue. That's like 2XL. Well, I had bought this is an XL, and then I have one in green that's an XL that I've never worn because they never fit. Like I couldn't even get them over my stomach. So I put it on today, and it's like super baggy. I probably need like a large. So I'm going through my clothes. And my jeans that I have a pair of khaki like jeans that I bought from Von Maur. Hey! I have a pair of like khaki jeans that I bought from Von Maur a couple months ago, and that's what I've been wearing. Both pairs of black jeans that I have do not fit me. They're like, I mean, I can literally like stick my hand in the waist. I mean, they're so baggy, even with a belt. And like I have a belt on right now with these shorts, and the belt is on the very last loop. I need a new belt. I need all new pants because none of my pants fit. So I went in my closet, and when I cleaned out my closet the last time, like I kept like 10 pairs of jeans that like fit perfectly, and then like I had 34s and 36 jeans that like were very expensive jeans, like Rockin' Republic jeans and like 7 jeans and things like that I wanted to keep because I think I have a couple pairs of Joe's jeans because I love those. A pair of nudie jeans that were like my motivation jeans, and I kept those because I was like, I don't want to throw these out in case I ever lose weight. And so I have those in the very back of the closet, like hidden like in this corner. So I start pulling out all these jeans, you guys, these 10 pairs of jeans that I have like in my area. Not one pair of them fit. I mean, they're like grossly loose on me. I'm just gonna have to bag this stuff up and donate it. Like, I mean, and I'm hesitant to do it in case I gain some weight back, but at the same time, I'm also like, I don't want to think that way, that I'm gonna gain the weight back. None of these pants fit me. None of the jeans, none of the khakis. I mean, I went through probably, I don't know, 10, 15 pairs of jeans and pants, and none of them fit me. And so, I mean, baggy to the point of like where if I have them on, they fall down, like to my thighs. And so I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna pull you guys a little bit closer. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I have no pants to wear to this baseball game, and it was cold outside, right? So I went in the corner where I had kept these old jeans, and I started going through them, and I picked a pair of, I think it was the 7s jeans, and they were like 34s, 32s or 34s, and I started putting them on. Well, first of all, they're like bell bottoms. I don't even think they're cute. I wouldn't even probably wear them if they fit. And I started putting them on, and they were like almost perfect, but a little tight on my waist. And I was like, okay, I want to wear something comfortable. So I found this pair of like INC, which is like Macy's brand jeans, and they were 36s. And I thought, there's no way. Like, I don't think I'm in a 36 yet. I thought maybe I was, but I was like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't a stretchy waist. And I put these jeans on, these 36 jeans, and they're baggy too. And I'm like, I'm seriously like, it's one thing to like lose this weight, and I'm very happy that I did, but it's one thing to lose weight. It's another thing that within a month to go from a 38-40 to like a 34-36, like, and like have to completely get rid of all of your clothes. And I mean, nothing fits me anymore. Like literally nothing. I'm so thankful that I kept all these Western shirts and these things, because like, all the shirts that I bought the last couple years, all the Ralph Lauren t-shirts, all the Ralph Lauren button-downs are so baggy on me. They're so big. Like, I mean, I'm still gonna wear them, you know, but like, they're so big on me. And I mean, they literally just are like, they drape on me, you know? And the shirts that I've been wearing like the last couple days, like the striped shirt, t-shirts, and like the flowered t-shirt that's like a Ralph Lauren t-shirt, like those, I shrunk them by accident, and they were so tight on my stomach, like I couldn't wear them. Like I wear them on videos because you could only see here and up, but like to take them on a trip or something like that, I would never do them. They're baggy on me now. And none of the pants fit me. So now, I was gonna do this on next Sunday when Alex goes to the race, but I think I'm gonna start doing it throughout this week, because I have now this one pair of 36 jeans that fit me, but are really baggy as well. I've got to go through these jeans and see what I have, because I don't want, and Alex was like, well, this is good motivation and now you can buy new clothes. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I don't want to spend $500 on all new clothes, because I literally have no pants that fit me. And I had just bought, before I went into the hospital, I think it was before we went to Miami, because I think they were here when I got back. I just bought 2 new pairs of jeans from Buffalo, which is like my favorite pair of jeans, or favorite brand of jeans, because they're like stretchy waist. The Ash, which like they have a style of jean called Ash, Slim Ash, and they're like stretchy waist, and I love them. Well, I had bought a gray pair of jeans and like a navy, or like a faded navy pair of jeans, and they're 38s, and I know they're not going to fit me, because I tried on like 3 pairs of 38 Buffalo jeans, and they're all just like, they just went right down my waist, and they don't fit me. I have like probably another 10 pairs of jeans in the basement that are all like these Buffalo jeans, and they're like 38s or 40s, and they don't fit. I know they're not going to fit me. And I actually went down the basement and brought like 2 pairs up, and neither one of them fit me. So I don't know what I'm going to do, because I think like the pants I kept, most of them are 32, 34s. And then the other ones that I have that did fit me before were like 38, 40s, right? So I don't really have anything in between that fits. And so I kind of started panicking a little bit, because I was like, I literally don't have, like, my jean shorts that I've cut, my jean shorts that I bought, like, none of them fit. I found, like, in the corner when I was going, like, through looking for these, I found, like, probably 5 or 6 pairs of jean shorts. I was like, I wonder where these jean shorts went. But when I held them up, they were all, like, 38, 40s. They were all big. And they must have been tight on me before, and that's why I had them in that corner. But I was like, they're not going to fit me now. So I'm going to have to go through all this clothes and bag up stuff that doesn't fit and just get rid of it. Sweatshirts aren't fitting me. I'm not going to get rid of my hoodies, because I just, you know, I'll wear them no matter how big they are. And this is comfortable enough that I can wear it, but it's still pretty baggy. I mean, I'm not going to buy hoodies and sweaters now, you know, when it's like becoming June. I mean, if I have to go to Target and I have to buy some new t-shirts, because I've gone down, like the 2XL t-shirts, which were what I wore comfortably around or to go out, like they are so baggy on me now. They're like dresses, and the XLs hardly fit me. So I'm between like a large and an extra large in t-shirts now from Target, the Goodfellow brand. So I don't have hardly any larges. So I'm gonna have to go to Target. Even if I have to spend some money to buy some more t-shirts there, I will. I do believe I have some jeans and some shorts in that corner that are smaller that will fit, and I'm just gonna have to go through it. I have a lot of things that I have purchased through the years that, like, I would go like with Tanya to Meijer or something before a trip, or I would go to Target or whatever, and I would buy shorts, or I would buy like t-shirts, and then I would get it home, and I wouldn't try it on at the store, and I would bring it home. And well, this actually, right before we went to Miami, this happened. I started trying on these t-shirts, and a lot of them, even because I had lost some weight before we went to Miami, a lot of them were too big. I tried on like 3 bathing suits before we went to Miami, 3 or 4 bathing suits that hadn't fit me before, and now like fit like perfectly. And I was like, this is like crazy. And now I've lost 30 pounds since then. So I'm sure that even more, because I mean, I have like literally like probably 40 bathing suits back in that corner that I have been saving, and like they literally have tags on. Because like I would go and like Ralph Lauren would have like really cute bathing suits that would be on sale at the end of summer, and I would buy like 2 of them, and then they wouldn't fit. They'd be too tight. Well, one of them that I tried on before we went to Miami was like, I could have worn it, but it was still kind of tight. Like, I know now it'll fit me like perfectly. So I've got to go through all this clothes. I got to try all these clothes on, which is kind of exciting because, you know, it's like clothes that I haven't been able to wear in 5 or 10 years, that even though it has tags on it, I mean, you know, I'd rather like be able to wear the things that I bought that are in the closet than buy new stuff. Like, I don't really want to buy a bunch of new stuff. And also because I'm still continuing to try to lose weight, I don't really want to buy a lot of new stuff until I kind of get to my goal weight. Like, to buy a pair of jeans or 2, like to be able to have comfortable jeans, like I'm totally down. That's fine. Like, I think I'm going to actually get on Buffalo on the website and order like a pair of jeans or 2 in a lower size, like a 34 or 36, just so I have a pair, like a couple pairs of jeans that I can wear and go do stuff in. But other than that, like I have enough pairs of shorts that are probably smaller on me to wear. God knows I have enough shoes. And t-shirts, I definitely like have smaller things to wear. I just have to go through them all because the majority of the things that I have up in my closet, like where I just pull stuff from, are so big and baggy now, you know? So I just need to bag it all and just like get rid of it, because if I don't, I just don't want to keep this really huge stuff and then have it as a fallback plan. Like, well, if you gain the weight back, I don't want to think that way. I don't want to think that, oh, I'm going to gain the weight back. I've kind of actually, to be honest with you, I have gained like 1.5 pounds back, which whatever, right? But like over the course of like a week. But I'm kind of surprised that like I've maintained. Now I'm eating more than I was eating before. I mean, there were days that I wasn't eating anything at all. And I think that's partly why, because I'm like eating something every day now. And I'm not vomiting and I'm not having diarrhea and things like that. So I'm keeping stuff down, and I think that's partly why I've started to plateau off, which I'm feeling healthier. So now is the time for me to start really implementing like the healthy eating plan and like the eating fruits and vegetables. I think I can now. I think I feel okay enough that I can start doing that. So I want to go maybe tomorrow after brunch and get some things to have around the house. Interestingly enough, like greasy stuff still does not sound good to me at all. In fact, when we were like going to the baseball game, there was these girls that were like pulling out next to us, and they had like just gone through like Chick-fil-A, and they were eating like French fries, and it just like almost kind of made my stomach sick, like to even like what I know that's crazy, but just to see them eating French fries. And like Alex talking about making like pizza rolls, like that does not sound like appealing to me at all. So like greasy food doesn't sound good at all to me, which is good, you know, I guess. I think there's still kind of a part of me that is scared to get sick, like, because sometimes like certain things that I think about eating, like it kind of makes my stomach start hurting when I think about it, and I think, oh god, like if I ate that, like I'd probably like vomit it up. Although it's now been like 5 or 6 days since I vomited, which is great, and I feel very thankful for like the nausea going away. One of the things I have been doing is before I eat, I have been taking a Zofran, which the Zofran hasn't really worked, and it might be completely just mental, you know, that I'm thinking this way, but like for some reason I like take the Zofran and then I wait like 20 or 30 minutes before I eat. Like the piata half of the sandwich yesterday was what I ate for dinner, and then I wait for like 20 or 30 minutes, and usually like I'm completely fine. Like it doesn't, like I don't feel like I'm gonna be sick or anything. Like I haven't felt that way. Today, driving in Alex's car, like I was telling him, well, it was interesting because somebody said something about my restless leg syndrome being from maybe I'm drinking a little bit more coffee, which I wasn't drinking coffee for a while, and now I have started drinking like iced coffee. I got the iced coffee from fresh time the other day, and then when Alex and I were going to the baseball game today, I said I really want to stop and get a coffee because I never go to Starbucks, hardly ever. And I got a grande blonde Americano because I'm trying to kind of like still watch the amount of intake of caffeine that I have and whatever. And I don't know if it was from the coffee. I mean, I just had a grande and I drank it over about 2 hours. I just kind of sipped at it, or if it was like driving in his car. You know, sometimes Alex's car, since it's a Wrangler, is kind of like a rough ride, and so sometimes I get kind of sick. But like my stomach was kind of hurting a little bit on the way home, and I was like, I don't know, I just don't feel great. I don't know why. It stopped, but I did feel like that a little bit earlier. I don't know. I think I just sometimes have like a nervous stomach too. I wish it was a little bit warmer out. I think tomorrow it's supposed to be like 80 again. Let's see. It was supposed to be like 71 today, and when Alex and I were coming home, I looked at his weather thing and it said 60, 63, 64, 65. It's 66 degrees right now. Partly cloudy, feels like 66. Let's see what it's going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow, 79, full sunshine. Monday, 83, partly cloudy. Tuesday, 85, full sunshine. All next week, it's supposed to be absolutely beautiful. Oh my God, 87 the following Monday. It's going to be really nice all next week. A lot of sunny days, too. So I plan to spend a lot of days outside. Now, my plan was to do, it's a little chilly today for this, but my plan was today to do the walk, or this weekend was to do the walkway. I think I'm going to wait till like Monday or Tuesday to do that. And somebody recommended to me, I don't even know why I didn't think about this, but I'm so thankful that they recommended to me this in the comments. They said, why don't you pick a really good, like, cozy mystery and listen to it while you're reading? Well, thank you for that suggestion. I actually have 2 true crime novels to listen to, 2 books for Peter's Book Club to listen to. So, yes, I'm going to pick one of those and just kind of, like, get into it. I've got to finish these books. I'm, like, in such a reading slump. But, because I just watch all these TV shows is what I do. And in fact, last night, I watched, while I was eating, I watched episode 5 of the Skinwalker Ranch, which a couple people were like, Peter, you're not even supposed to say that out loud like Candyman because it like brings negativity towards you or whatever. I didn't know that, but the show is interesting. They have like a lot of ooh, ah moments, but I don't really necessarily understand because like the things they're talking about, like, I'm not a scientist, so I don't get it, if that makes sense. But then you kind of like ooh and ah with it because you're like, if they're oohing and ahhing, like you think there has to be like some big deal. But like I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching it, like there's not going to be anything conclusive that comes out from here. Like, okay, they're right now speculating that there's like a UFO that's like hidden underground of Skinwalker Ranch. But if that were really the case, like, we would have heard about it on the news, right? Like, I mean, that would have been like 1,000-foot, you know, dome UFO was found underground on the Skinwalker Ranch. I never heard about that on the news, which means it's not going to be in this documentary series. I already know that. And I'm sorry to ruin it for you. I haven't even watched the whole thing yet, but it's kind of like a little boring to me, a little bit. I don't know. Like, it feels, I have to be honest with you, like, it feels very scripted to me. Like, there's this guy named Dragon that's, like, head of security, and he, like, is very resistant to everything and kind of gets mad at them about stuff. And his role kind of seems kind of, like, I don't know, scripted to me. And it just, a lot of it seems very scripted to me, and I don't know. So then I watched The Last Thing He Told Me with Jennifer Garner on Apple TV, which is the book by Laura Davy that I read a couple years ago, and I loved the book. Little did I know that this week's episode was the very last episode. I had no clue going into this episode, and I actually didn't even know till like halfway through, and then I was like, oh, I think this was going to be like the last episode, because stuff starts happening that I remembered from the book, and I was like, oh, I think this is going to be the last episode. And I did remember some things that had happened at the end. But it ended fantastically. It's a great series. If you guys have Apple TV, I would really highly recommend it. Now that the whole thing is out, it is totally binge-worthy. I could have watched the whole thing in like one setting. So before I started watching it, Apple TV had put up this like trailer or something for this new show that's come out, and it's called it just came out, and it's called High Desert, and it's with Patricia Arquette, and I love Patricia Arquette. If you guys ever saw that, I mean, I've loved her in a lot of things she's done, but if you ever saw that movie About a Boy, like, I think that's what it was called, where she was like a single mother raising that kid, like, and Ethan Hawke, I think, played her ex. She was so good in that. I think she won Best Supporting or Best Actress for that or whatever that year that it came out. She was so fantastic in that. Okay, so High Desert is about this woman. So she's like my age, right? And her husband is Matt Dillon. And when it starts in 2013. And she has like this beautiful home in like the Palm Desert, right? Like Palm Springs. And it's Thanksgiving. And you don't know it at the beginning, but like 10 minutes in you find out that like she and her husband are like huge drug dealers. That like, and it's not funny, but it is funny. Like the show's funny. And their house gets raided by all these DEA officers and all this kind of stuff. So her husband goes to prison. And then it flashes forward like 10 years. And she's been, and this is all like within the first 10 or 15 minutes. And she's been taking care of her mother, who is Bernadette Peters. And then they've been living in this house that her brother and sister have basically been paying for while she's been working at this like prairie, I don't really, like ghost town settlement kind of like, you know, like where they have like, they do like reenactments and stuff like that. And she's like this can dancer, and she takes her job like very seriously. And she says she's an actress and all this kind of stuff. And her brother and sister are like, okay, we're mom, like her mom had passed away. And so, she's like on methadone, and she's like trying to get like sober, but she's not really, like a lot of it's about like her using. And she's really struggling with her mom having passed away. And so she decides she's going to become a private investigator. You guys, it is so good. It is so funny. Like, Patricia Arquette, like, I was thinking about this, like, how I was going to explain it to you guys, because I knew I wanted to talk about it on here. Like, okay, the last thing he told me was with Jennifer Garner, and Jennifer Garner was, like, fantastic in it. Like, she was really, really good. But when I think about that role, there's, like, probably 10 actresses that I think that could have played that role just as good. Like, this role, I mean, is so designed for Patricia Arquette. Like, she is so fantastic in it. And, like, she's so funny, and she's just kind of like somebody will say to her, like, she'll say, it's everything about it is so funny. I just got laughing so hard. And each episode's only like a half an hour. And I watched all 3 episodes that are out, and it comes out on Wednesdays. It's another one of those. You have to wait, you know, a week for each episode. But she'll she'll say to somebody like, I'll get you an answer by in 48 hours. And then they'll say, you've got 5 hours. And she'll go, okay, 72. And then they'll go, you've got 6 hours. And she'll go, 60 and not another minute. And then she like walks out of the room. It's just like such slapstick humor. It's so funny. And just like the stuff that happens to her is like so crazy. And it's really well done. And I have no idea what direction it's going in, because so many crazy things happen in it. But it's like highly entertaining, and I would really recommend it. So there's that. And then I thought Yellow Jackets came out on Thursday, but apparently it comes out on Sundays. So I have Yellow Jackets and From that come out tomorrow. And let's see what else I'm watching. Fear the Walking Dead. I've got to get back into that because the new season just came out. High Desert. I was just talking about that. Below Deck Mediterranean Season 5. I'm kind of like taking a break on Below Deck. Like, I think I watched it so much that I got a little burnout on it. Like, when you eat too much Subway, you know? I'm kind of burnt out on it. I kind of like need a break from it. I have Saint X on my list, but I haven't started it. I might start that tonight, because a couple people have told me that Saint X was like better than... Oh, I watched Love and Death too. Was that last night that I watched Love and Death? Yeah, last night I watched Love and Death, the Candy Montgomery story, which I have to tell you, which I figured out was different between that and Candy. People were telling me that Saint X is better than Love and Death, or better than something else that I was watching. So, or no, somebody said Saint X is better than The Last Thing He Told Me, which they're completely different stories, so I don't know how somebody compared those two to them, but Okay, so I was like, well, that's the case, and I need to start watching Saint X. I think I just need to get into it. Like, I think I just need to get into like an episode or two, and then I'll be like into it. And then Love and Death, I watched the newest episode last night. Real Housewives of Atlanta comes out on Sunday. From season 2 is Sundays. RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars comes out on Fridays, and Alex actually, he caught up on it last night, and then we watched the newest episode and the newest Untucked last night, so we're all caught up on that. Okay, so Love and Death, if you're watching Love and Death, or if you watched Candy and you're thinking about watching Love and Death, let me tell you what the difference is. And this will not ruin it for you, okay? I know people are going to be like, you're ruining TV shows. It's not going to ruin it for you, okay? It took me a while to figure it out. I was like, I can't really figure out what's different about these. Candy with Jessica Biel, I feel like it was kind of like a caricature of Candy Montgomery. Like, Jessica Biel, who I thought was fantastic in it. I actually have to be honest with you, like, having watched both of them now, and I really didn't like Love and Death at first, I have to tell you, I think I prefer Love and Death now. And the reason why is that Candy with Jessica Biel, really the only great thing about it was Jessica Biel. And she played Candy Montgomery so well, and she really looked like the real Candy Montgomery in it. But it didn't go real deep into the story. It didn't, like, go really deep into the affair, into the story, and the motive behind, like, why she killed her and all these kinds of things, right? Which you know right from the get-go that she kills her friend, Betty. So, like, I'm not ruining anything for you. In Candy, they kind of paint a picture that Candy Montgomery killed Betty. Like, and it was just like she went there and like some things happened and she said it was self-defense, but you really questioned it in watching a show whether or not it was self-defense. In Love and Death, like, they really paint a picture that it's self-defense. Like, they really, like, they show it, they explain it, they talk about it, that it's totally self-defense. Now, there's a lot of things that come out, like, she stabs her or kills her with an axe 40 times, right? Like, so, that's a lot, right, for for being defensive. But she kind of has, like, a psychotic break a little bit. And they go in and they explain that. They also go in very deep and talk about the affair that she had with Betty's husband. They talk about her relationship with her own husband and the marriage and how it affects him and everything that's going on. Goes in and talks about her kids. It goes in and talks about her involvement in the church. It goes in and talks about her relationship with her pastor. I mean, it is very, very deep. Love and Death is a much better version of this. I really liked Candy. Candy's kind of like the colorful version of it, where Love and Death is more like the true crime novel version of it. I don't know if I'm making sense of that, but like Love and Death is like a really cohesive explanation of what went down. And like they even like a lot of the things like I don't really, to be honest with you, remember a lot of the details of Candy now, but like they even go in and like they show a lot of the court case, and she's like taking some anxiety medication that like puts her out of it, and so like the media is saying that she's like a zombie. Like, I don't remember them ever talking about that in Candy. Like, there's so many specific things that they talk about in Love and Death that they never addressed in Candy that makes it such a better show. I mean, and things I'm not even touching on that makes it so interesting. But you have to get past the first episode, because the first episode for me, and comparing it to Candy, was what was really hard. The only thing for me is this, and I think Jessica Biel is a fantastic actress, and I think she held her own in Candy, and I really loved her in that, and I also really loved her in what was the Center of season 1, because they were very similar roles but very different, and I thought she did fantastic in both of them. The thing is that Elizabeth Olsen, who's the younger sister of the Olsen twins, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, prune, that's where I learned how to do my signature pose on Instagram. It was from Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. You turtle your face so you get like a good jawline, and then you go prune. That's where you get the lips, see? But anyway, she is a fantastic actress. I mean, she does not play. She is such a great actress. Apparently, she's been in a bunch of stuff, and I didn't really know much about her. The only thing is, I do not know, and I have a feeling it has to do with Candy, the movie, or the series, because in Candy, Jessica Biel wears like a curly wig. Candy Montgomery had really curly hair, and Jessica Biel looks just like the real Candy Montgomery. I think they're trying to kind of like steer away from that in Love and Death because it came out afterwards. But Elizabeth Olsen doesn't look anything like Candy Montgomery, like at all. I mean, she's definitely a lot sexier. She's definitely a lot more fit. She's definitely, I don't know, there's so many different, her hair doesn't look anything like her. Even like when they cut her hair for court and they say that she has to wear like, or she has to be more of like housewifey and whatever, like even then, like, which I think they did the same thing in the Candy movie, like it's not anything like if you go and because I Google searched a lot of like about the real Candy Montgomery, who, by the way, if you want to know what the real Candy Montgomery is doing today, she's a mental health counselor in Georgia. So you killed your best friend and killed her with an axe 40 times and you're a mental health counselor. Like, that's a little bizarre to me, but whatever. So weird things, I guess, have happened out there, but so yeah, so I'm watching that and that was really good. So I don't know what I'm going to watch tonight. If anybody has any suggestions, please put them in the comment section below. I think maybe I'll start watching Saint X. I need another show that I can like binge watch. I have to tell you what's interesting is I was talking to Alex's girlfriend the other day, and she and I, like, it was funny because we were like matching each other show for show. He had like FaceTimed her and we were in bed talking, and I was like, oh, have you watched this? And she reads a lot too, and so we were talking about books, and I was like, are you watching The Last Thing He Told Me? And she's like, oh my god, I love it, it's so good. And I was like, did you read the book? And she's like, I loved the book. And I was, so it was like every show and every book that we were talking about, we both like matched, like we loved, right? And I said to her, did you watch Daisy Jones and the Six? And she goes, I really struggled with it. And I said, you didn't like it? And she was like, no. She was like, she goes, I watched it. She goes, but, because she binge watches a lot of shows because she travels for work. And so when she's traveling, she binge watches a lot of shows. She's like, but I really had a hard time getting through it. She goes, it just wasn't really that interesting to me. Which is interesting because Caroline and Tanya both loved it. And Mel, I think, loved it too. And I thought, I have this gut feeling that Daisy Jones and the Six is not for me. I'm going to keep trying to watch it. Maybe I'll watch an episode of it tonight. I don't know. But like, I feel like it's just not a show for me because I watched an episode when we were in Florida and after I finished reading the book and I just was like, I can't get into this at all. Which I also need to be listening to some of these audiobooks. I don't know how much I have left of How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix, the most boring book in the entire world, which is so strange because I love Grady Hendrix, but let's see how much time I have left on this book. I probably have like 15 credits because I haven't bought a book on here forever. I only have 3 hours and 29 minutes left of this book. I should just bang that out this weekend. I have 8 credits. Let's see what's on the bestseller list. Just so you know, there's a little secret you can do if you're on Audible. Like this Jack Carr, Only the Dead, is on the bestseller list. I'll probably be wrong about this one. Okay, yeah, I'm wrong about that one. It came out May 16th. Okay, but then there's this, I'm going to look up and find what I mean by this. And then there's the Seamstress of Sardinia. Okay, so the Seamstress of Sardinia is on the bestseller list, right? And it came out December 6th of 2022. I've never heard of this book by Bianca Pizzorno. What they do is they make this the daily deal for like $2.95, and then the next day it's on the bestseller list for like a day or two. And so a lot of people buy these books because they think, well, these books are like really, really great, when in reality, it's just because they were on the daily deal. Like this Covenant of Water, what is this? I've never heard of it, but it looks good. It came out May 2nd. She is 12 years old and she'll be married in the morning. Mother and daughter lie on the mat, their wet cheeks glued together. The saddest day of a girl's life is the day of her wedding, her mother says. After that, God willing, it gets better. And so begins the decade in the making follow-up to Cutting for Stone. Oh, I don't know what Cutting for Stone is. I've never heard of that. And then Barbara Kingsglover, does she have a new book out? 21 Hours. Oh, it came out October 22nd, so that must have been another one. This Lessons in Chemistry. Caroline told me that this was one of the best books that she's ever read. And then the Harry, Prince Harry book. Who'd care? I don't. And then Outlive, The Science of Art and Longevity. Emily Henry, Happy Place. Oh, she's the one that wrote Beach Reads. Is this a new book? April 25th, 2023. Let's see. A couple who broke up months ago pretend to still be together for their annual week-long vacation with their best friends in this glittering and wise new novel from #1 New York Times bestselling author Emily Henry. I really like her books, actually. Harriet and Wynn have been the perfect couple since they met in college. They go together like salt and pepper, honey and tea, lobster and rolls, except now, for reasons they're still not discussing, they don't. They broke up 5 months ago and still haven't told their best friends, which is why they find themselves sharing a bedroom at the main cottage that has been their friend group's yearly getaway for the last decade. That looks cute. I might read that. And then The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I guess it's Dave, not Davy. So good, though. I need to get back to Audible. All these books I want to read. What's the last book that I bought? I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. Pride High, book 1 by J. Bell. I used to love his books. If I See You Again Tomorrow by Robbie Couch. 9 Liars by Maureen Johnson. We Are the Light by Matthew Quick. Shady Hollow by Jenna Black. That's one of the books for Peter's book club. A Hard Day for a Hangover by Dorinda Jones, who wrote A Good Day for Chardonnay. This is the 3rd book in the series. Swamp Spirits by Janet DeLeon. I mean, see, I have all these really great books. After Siege by Rhiannon Frater. That's part of the As the World Dies, that she just put this book out. Carrie Soto Is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I mean, I have so many good books, you guys. Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister, which I really want to read. Body at Buccaneers Bay by Josh Lanyon, which is part of this Cozy Mystery series that I love. I have so many. Upgrade by Blake Crouch. I have so many books that I want to read. I've got to get back to Audible. I've got to figure it out. I need to start walking and just listening to Audible. That's going to be my plan for this upcoming week. Well, all right, you guys, I'm going to get off here now and go see what my husband's up to. I can hear him inside, so he must have just finished his pizza rolls. Which means that the inside of the house is going to smell like a fried concession stand. Anyway, I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Saturday, and if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over whenever you want. 2, practice random acts, or your weekend if you need to. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but shh, don't tell anyone. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. Like I always say, you might be putting a smile on their face. You might be cheering them up. You might be making their day. You might be just making them feel happier all around. You don't know. In general. And also, be kinder to one another. Love one another a little bit more. And most importantly, be kinder and love yourselves a little bit more. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.